Holiday is great. As I've said all those times before, there are certain set events during the week that you know are going to happen. The Thursday show, the Friday show, the Saturday show, the gay boat trip, the Pride March. It's what happens around those events that makes the holiday. And with those events that happen, it's about the people. And it's the people that make it different every year.
I was very nervous because of it being such an established group that you've gone out there for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden me just, well, tagging along is how I felt in a way.
My thoughts before the holiday were that I was going out there, seeing some people that I've met before, seeing some people that I haven't met before. We were basically going out there to be single and remain single and just have a bloody good time and get absolutely drunk.
This year I was with Alan. About 2 weeks before I went away, I'd been away with Philip to Barcelona and somehow come down with some awful throat chest infection, and it was really hanging over me.
I was really nervous because I'm not that much of a sociable person, and like to hang around with like a group of people I knew hardly anything about, you know, do random holiday things. I didn't know what to expect, so I honestly didn't.
Looking forward to who's going to be there to actually be part of the gang. It's been rather good. I have enjoyed it thoroughly.
We did have the discussion of whether Sven would actually get on the flight or not.
I have flown all over the place, but it's something I've never ever got used to, and I do dread it every single time that I go.
Then sort of a subsequent discussion of what state would Sven be in when he got off the flight.
I prepared myself by having a lot of calms and having a fair few vodkas.
He did actually end up turning up okay, but I think Gareth got a bit apprehensive about what the text had sent him, saying basically I was horrendously ill and Alan was in bed looking like a lobster.
Red Alan and Alan. 2 o'clock-ish in the morning or something in that style. And Alan had got some terrible sunburn that day because they'd been there a good few hours way before us. Alan had caught an awful lot of sun, and I remember laughing at his little pathetic legs because they're so skinny.
I wasn't feeling particularly well when Gareth, Sven, Matt and Leon reached our abode, and I went legging it towards the toilet, carrier bag in hand. Sort of missed the carrier bag, projectile vomited all over the floor, all up the door, then slipped in it.
And then Darryn was sick in the toilet.
And I ran into that bathroom, skidded in the puke that was all over the floor, and caught him round the waist and pulled him back before he banged his head on the floor.
Chicken coming out your nostrils at a few hundred miles an hour, that's not a good sign for a night, is it really?
I've never seen anyone move so quick.
I know I say this every year, but it's a different holiday again this year. Different because it's not about new people and whatever. I mean, it is, obviously we met Mark, but we came this year for a quiet time at the beginning, bit of pride, and then got home.
And of course it all went a little bit differently. Patrick stayed single and I'm sure he had lots of fun, vomiting 7 times in the space of about an hour, whereas I basically met someone, fell for him hard, and I was hardly on the video at all this year.
The previous show seemed to be the Lee Radley show, however this year was very much different. I think if anything it's probably the Lee Buckby show.
I was very apprehensive the first night when we arrived and went to the Umbo Centre, because I knew, being the last ones to arrive, because you're sort of the odd one out, you know, your very first visit out there, these people have known each other for years, and then I just turn up. I'd definitely say I was probably apprehensive about meeting Lee Radley because he's my boyfriend's ex-boyfriend, and seeing the videos in the past I expected him to be difficult-ish to get on with because he's quite strong-minded in his own way and he's very in your face, if you like.
Gareth, Mark, Darryn and the rest of the Northern crew didn't turn up until the early hours of Tuesday morning, and I wasn't very happy because I was sat there all on my fucking own.
Yeah, my first thoughts with Patrick when I first arrived, he was very, very welcoming actually. I didn't expect to nearly get snogged by him, I have to say. I'd say out of everybody in the group, who surprised me more, I'd have to say was probably Lee Radley. I actually did expect that to be loud and in your face and difficult to get on with really, because I think he's very, not opinionated, but from what I saw about him in the past, things have always been done his way. But he wasn't like that, not with me he wasn't anyway.
My one surprise on that first night was when my Mark when my Sven, sorry Darren, decided that he couldn't handle the alcohol.
I remember leaning against the post and not even knowing what my own name was and thinking, I'm going to be sick any second now. And I just spewed up right over the wall. It was all bursting out my hand and I was laughing as I was doing it.
I think last year, Nancy night was the best night. But this year, it's got to be Ice Cube night.
And that was one of them nights where Darryn had got particularly bored and really wasn't up for it and decided to cause a bit of mischief.
Somebody was launching ice cubes at Leon. Apparently it was coming from the balcony above because he went up there to find out who it was.
Leon, they're definitely not from outer space. I know you've probably seen it before, you've probably not realised it was me still, but yes, the ice cubes came out of my glass on a parabolic flight onto your head.
Patrick, I think, got belted with a lemon. He sort of just sat the lemon on top of himself and accused someone of throwing it down, and actually Leon actually went upstairs to find out who it was.
All I could see was Mark's shoulders like shaking up and down like that because he was laughing so much he couldn't stop himself.
So I'll apologise now, Leon. But I knew.
And Leon was going, it's going to be chicken tonight, because of course he thought that Mark was doing like really pissed things, but really wasn't. He was just laughing because he could see what was going on.
And I'd say my other night or day even, it was the Mojo potato night, because Darryn and I were sat next to one another. Leon had these Canadian potatoes with a Mojo sauce and it just didn't work. It was too spicy for him.
This year is potato year. If I see another potato when I go back into McDonald's, that'll be the thing for me. Not to mention Mojos. If I see a sweet called Mojos, I'm just going to fling it.
Oh, Leon was with Toby the tram, some bloke from Wigan, I think.
I asked Toby the tram, was he feeling okay? To which mass hysterics erupted around the table, because that's one of Leon's sayings, you know, you okay, Mr. Man, you okay. And we soon discovered that Leon had said it, as feared, about 50 times during sex.
And I was in absolute hysterics over because Darryn did not but take the mickey out of for the entire meal.
Mojo sauce and potatoes, not the best place for me to be. That was the worst experience of my life. Everybody makes a mistake. I made one. That was just one of the incidences of everything, but that seemed to have like sort of made the catchphrase for the week for me. What can I say? It happens, you know, you've got to take it with a laugh, you've got to have a joke with it.
And I had about 1.5 potatoes left, and Leon had about 6 or something like that, and asked Darryn did he want them. He said no, I'll have them from Sven.
Mojo sauce, come on guys, honestly, potatoes and Mojo sauce. If I live another day through Mojo and potatoes next year, I tell you, I'll crack it. I'll just have potatoes and butter next year, that'll do me fine. But honestly, keep it going with the potatoes, guys, because I love it.
Every year the boat trip happens, and it's one of those fixed events during the week that you know is going to be a great day.
Know that on the boat trip, I'm not going to drink that much, but I'm sure as hell going to entertain everyone. Normally very vocally and very physically.
Right, I was excited about going on the boat trip, and I knew that, you know, there'd be a lot of memories. Having like you lot there and David there as well, who I haven't seen in months, and just being like away from everything on this boat with the sun and, you know, and sky, and, you know, doing things like we went on banana boats and that. I knew that it would be like a lot to take in and that.
Leon got quite tipsy, probably the tipsiest I've ever seen Leon.
Yes, Leon did help himself on the boat trip to the free alcohol, shall we say, which should have been me, if anyone.
First thing was, I was set to do something that was a Darryn event for me. By doing that, I ended up virtually getting myself totally wasted.
When Leon helped himself to that beer, that's what made it, really.
I was on lager continuously. I don't know how many I drank, but the cameras will probably show you.
How to sum Leon up on a boat trip? It's probably like being put in a locked room with rats and snakes and everything.
Your worst fears?
Yeah, just your worst fears in your life, and being enclosed in a small room.
And all he could see is that he got more and more pissed as time went on. It was like, I'm not doing this. Who's that? Runners, where's Runners? Oh, don't do that. Hey.
Third time lucky, and it happened. I actually went on the banana boat trip. I was absolutely petrified.
When Leon went on the banana, that was hysterical, especially at the very end when he got tipped in. That was an absolute prize, especially when the boat was being tipped over and he was still trying to hang on to the bottom of it.
It was an absolute thrill to go on it, really was.
Leon's face and the preceding Scrabble to hold on to the stupid boat was one of the funniest things I'd seen probably that holiday.
And I was like, oh, I'm under the water here we go. So it was a case of flapping for me. But, you know what I mean, the life jacket was there to save me, and I had people help me in as well. But that was one of my most pride events for myself, because honestly, water is not my favourite thing, and I loved every minute of it.
He didn't annoy anyone that day because he was really quiet. He didn't put the camera in anyone's face. You know, he didn't annoy me at all. I didn't even have to say, oh, Leon, shut the fuck up. Not once. Not even once, as you'll see.
When he got the beer tipped over him, it was absolutely hysterical. I think Alan tipped a bit of his lager over him. He got the right ump about that, and then he did it he did it again, and really got, you know, really pissed off. I think Lee Radley actually I tried to get him to say that beer was good for his hair, and that just made me giggle so much. It was so funny. Because beer is really good for your hair, gives it lots of body, and let's face it, Leon's got lots of body. Yeah, someone had eaten my chocolate eclairs on the boat trip without me knowing. I think it might have been Natalie Avalon Smith, because when she did walk out, when she walked up the stairs when we were all having dinner at the Hard Rock Cafe, it did look like two pigs under a blanket. And I actually said it out loud and she heard me. Oops. So she's not my friend on Facebook anymore.
Saturday, of course, is Pride Day, another one of those set events that you know are going to happen.
The Pride Day I was actually looking forward to. There's nothing that you could possibly do that would shock anyone. It's exactly how it should be, really.
Pride Day for me, it was quite an event. Everybody was impressive, it was stunning.
And we decided that we were going to go out this year. We wore bunny girl outfits with knee-length boots that were 5-inch ABBA platforms, and all I can say is walking down to that Pride March and then walking back, I knew that I wouldn't be able to do both.
One of the most high-heeled shoe boots, ABBA wear boots I've ever seen in my life.
I remember Gareth having to take his off quarter or half away to actually getting there, whereas I wouldn't. I actually stuck with them, and I wore them from start to finish.
And I thought, why don't we go to Posh and Beck's? So I thought, yeah, I'll get like a Beckham t-shirt, and David dressed up as Victoria. But it wasn't until we walked outside and I had like my football in my hand, holding hands with like posh bikes. We seen all the English people, the couples, and people looking at us, and we just felt really like it was just like being famous or something. It was really strange.
I ended up being a Indiana Jones little outfit of mine, little speciality with the old redheads and funny wig and everything. With me, not forgetting my whip. I needed my whip. You know what I mean, to make me look the part.
And then you get some that haven't made really any effort, but then most of them don't need to because they've got fabulous bodies, so they don't need to make an effort. They just put on a pair of Speedos and away they go. And I'm like, I made an effort, but then I need to make an effort because I haven't got a fabulous body.
I had to do some recording this year, and I have a feeling that I either did 40 minutes of my feet or 40 minutes of loads going by like that.
Oh, it was tremendous. The heat was so hot. Darryn dropped off and got his beers on the way back. I'm being photographed by loads and loads of people. It was excellent.
Everybody had costumes. Lee was as a caveman, but for me, the costume that actually won my prize as the best thing that was there was Lee Comrie, little Lee, who was in that spotty all-over outfit that was just fantastic.
And when he showed me out, I was screaming with laughter when he showed me out on the can. And then, of course, when he wore it, nobody knew it was him. And he wore his bloody heels again and had stigmata feet, as he puts it.
Munch's costume on Pride Day was absolutely brilliant. He was dressed as Ner hostess, and honestly, BA, you need to change your uniform. You need Munch in a dress.
The whole event was really a good turnout. We even had Toya Wilcox doing the actual one of the Pride floats itself, singing "It's a Mystery," and it was so stunning. All the crowd and for myself to actually be there and to record it.
Holiday in Gran Canaria 2009 was the actual 8th Pride event that's happened, 7 that we've got on the film. But what makes it special is those people.
I mean, I've been to the Middle East an awful lot, lived in Spain, France, Sweden, I've done Eurovision of Finland, literally all over the place, and I would have to say, out of all those places over the years I've travelled, Gran Canaria's been my best, definitely my best holiday.
People that stood out this year, Patrick, as usual, He is my sidekick. He is a very special friend. Yeah, we're definitely a team to be reckoned with. We're like the Morecambe and Wise, the Little and Large, the Crankies, any comedy double act basically.
Patrick made me feel really, really welcome. And I can't wait to see Patrick again. I really can't. He's great fun. And definitely Darryn.
And then of course we have Babs Streisand, also known as Darryn. He was there to give us a little song.
Darryn just had me crying, laughing virtually every single night without fail.
Matt and Crystal, they were hysterical. I mean, Crystal, you're a fabulous babe. Yeah, David looks amazing in drag. Absolutely awesome. I mean, darling, you should do it all the time. You should go professional even.
David is probably one of the nicest trannies I've ever met. Dead down to work, not at all like aggressive or in your face or anything, just dead nice.
Leon's not one for drinking. When you've had a skin full of ale and you get into bed at 4, 5, 6 a.m. in the morning, and a few hours later when you're just dozing off, there's a knock at the door and it's Leon and he's just so hyper anyway. I can honestly say there's nothing worse than it. His heart's in the right place and he doesn't mean any harm by it, but I have to say it's a pain in the arse.
To be honest with you, everyone on holiday got on my nerves. The only person I really liked on holiday was Leon. Leon, you know, me and him like that after our holiday.
Airplane Bob is lovely.
You know, Entrance will be the highlight of my holiday. You know, when he came up to me and did what he did, it was just wonderful.
Airplane Bob so needs to have a wax. He is like Chewbacca's dad. He's lost a shitload of weight. I mean, my God, he looks good in that sense, but now he needs waxing and a little word of advice. Botox, darling, it works every time.
I realised what I missed by not coming last year, work interfering with pleasure again. You know, I just felt so welcome and part of the group. For me, it's been a fantastic unwinder really to come out here and just to find out what life's all about again.
Yes, Munch and I saw each other outside Dimes. It was on Pink Night actually. And it's great seeing Munchy. We did the whole pointing of the fingers at each other and then ran and met in the middle. It was really nice actually, really good seeing him.
The holiday livens up, you've got loads of things to talk about, everybody gets on with each other, which is a credit. And I mean, I do appreciate, obviously, you mean everybody, you know what I mean, you're such a laugh, you're such a buzz, and that really struck me a lot.
Sven and I, we just had an absolute ball the entire time.
Going out in 2009, it was absolutely lovely. It really was. I couldn't have faulted it in the slightest. Being over there with Gareth, it was such a special time.
And then of course the lovely Mark, who's always pissed. Every time you saw him, he had a drink in his hand and a fag. I mean, does he actually do anything else other than drink and smoke? I don't think so. And then of course there was Gareth with his camera, always there to capture the moment. Without you, obviously there would be no DVD, because it's you with all your hard work that actually make it put together.
It's probably the Lee Buckby show. Lee, as I've already said, 90% of the time got ripped by me, the other 10% by the rest of the gang, and it was the Lee Buckby show. He probably made the holiday. Every
year it is a completely different holiday. You can never recapture moments. You know, you can never say the same catchphrase and it be as funny. And yeah, 2009 was a good one.
2010 in Gran Canaria, I'm expecting everything the same and a bit more on top. Because I've done it now, I sort of know what to expect. I can't wait. I think it'll be excellent. It's all booked up and we're all ready to go. And I'm hoping it's going to be bigger and better than the last one, if that's at all possible, which I'm sure it will be.